The Channel Group is really a group of professionals who come together to advise small companies in either starting up operations, advising on funding, strategic planning, execution of plans, corporate business development, really a full suite of services that might be necessary for a technology transfer from either a university or an ex-US company that wants to build a commercial operation in the United States. We're a little bit unique in that each of our partners has a particular area of focus. Some of our partners are very heavily involved in biotechnology, some in more traditional pharmaceutical development, others in medical device. My particular focus has been on the diagnostics industry, and in diagnostics, I tell people this is sort of the tale of two cities. If you remember the quote, it's the best of times and the worst of times. And I think from a technology standpoint, it's the best of times. And the things that we can now do in the laboratory are just mind-boggling and outstanding. And when I was trained in graduate school, the things that are now routine practice were just theoretical concepts. So we're really at the point, I think, where technology in the lab is better and more exciting than it's ever been, and is reaching more people than it ever has. On the other hand, the ability of the system to pay for advanced diagnostics and the reimbursement and coverage challenges that we're all facing make it a very uncertain time in the industry. So I think we're optimists and pessimists, or maybe realists and dreamers. We look at the things that we can do, and we're concerned always about how we get adequate reimbursement for those technologies. I think the burning topic really is to continue to expand our franchise, if you will, with the populations that we serve. I mean, the laboratory has always been a bit of a red-haired stepchild in the corridor, right? And I think many of the patients that utilize our services don't know about us. Many physicians that utilize our services think of all labs as being fairly much the same. So I think one of the burning topics really is, how do you, as a laboratory provider, insert yourself more meaningfully into the constituents that will eventually decide the fate of the industry? How do you continue to show the value of diagnostic testing, especially some of the more advanced diagnostic tests? How do we continue to demonstrate to physicians, to payers, to patients, ultimately, the real value that we can provide in managing people's health? And that has a bunch of different components and a bunch of different outcomes, but at the center, it's really being able to demonstrate value. I think that this new environment in diagnostic testing puts unique strains or unique opportunities from a human resource standpoint. I think that in the past, it was sufficient to have people who really understood and had expertise in a deep vertical within healthcare, be it diagnostics or therapeutics or devices. And now I think what we're seeing is the requirement to be much more broad-based in our thinking, to be able to have people in the diagnostics industry who really, for example, understand the rigors of clinical development in the therapeutic side, and to be able to cross-pollinate some of the thinking from the therapeutic side into diagnostics when it comes to the rigor of validating a test that has to, I think, be similar to the rigor of validating a new therapeutic. So this is an industry which has tremendous opportunity, but the people who will be successful in this industry and the ones that will lead successful companies in this industry are those who can think more broadly across a number of disciplines, both scientific disciplines, but also across business disciplines, to be able to chart a course in these turbulent times for them and for the companies that they manage. I think there's some educational things that could be done to broaden people's perspective, but more importantly, I think, is really taking the risk and going and working in different aspects of the industry that you're involved in. I mean, it's great. I have a Ph.D. in pharmacology, which sits on the shelf because it was great training. But after that training, I really expanded into understanding business development, understanding corporate finance, doing other things that broaden the perspective. I think that's the key for success in this industry now, is to build on your core strength from your educational background, but then really take the risk of expanding and working in allied fields or allied disciplines that all come together in this new environment that we're facing.